Hey everyone, back again with another Flutter tutorial. And today's session we will look into how to create this nice looking home screen widgets right from a Flutter app. So with the Flutter latest version, we now have the option to create home screen widgets for both Android and iOS devices. And as you might be aware, these home screen widgets are nothing but the basic UI components that can be directly embedded within the device home screen. So these read-only UI components provides the metadata regarding our app so that the user don't need to reopen the app every time just to see the changes that is going on in the scene. And in this video, we will look into how to create these home screen widgets for iOS device. And if you're super excited about this tutorial, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, wherein we post regular videos regarding Flutter tutorials and Flutter animations. So what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button now so that you won't miss any of the craziest Flutter updates which we are going to share in the future videos. Well, hope you got a better understanding of what we are about to discuss in this video. With this idea and without any further delay, let's directly dive into the video and get started. First, let's start by creating a Flutter project. Here we have the basic counterexample app. Now let's get rid of these commands. Also, let's remove this homepage class and create a separate folder called presentations, inside which we have the screens, and inside the screens we have the homepage. Inside the homepage.file, let's create a stateless widget class with an empty scaffold. After doing so, let's head over to the perspec.oml file and try adding the dependency which is the home widget. So add the dependency which is home_widget. So this package is going to help us create home screen widgets for both Android and iOS device. And after doing so, run the command flutter pubget. Now we have the basic initial setup up and ready. Now let's start with the implementation part. Here, the entire process of creating a home screen widget can be categorized into three different steps. The first would be the iOS setup, where we need to perform few changes on the Xcode side to make the app running. And as mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video, we'll be targeting only iOS setup for this series. And I don't want to bundle both Android setup as well as iOS setup all together in a single video. For now, to keep this video very simple, let's stick around with the iOS setup and let's create a separate video for the Android setup later. Following the first step, the second step is going to be writing code to send data to and fro between our Flutter app and our home screen widget. Basically, how this home screen widget is going to work is, it is going to make use of the device local storage. It can be user defaults in case of iOS or can be shared preferences in Android. Therefore, whenever any change or updation is happening within our Flutter app, the home screen widget is capable enough to pull the data and show them up in the UI component. Hence, this home screen widget can only show static data and we won't be able to show real-time or live activity data here in the home screen widget as of now. Following the second step, the third and final step is going to be updating the native Swift code, where we need to rewrite few of the native Swift code in order to customize the home screen widget based upon our choice. With these three simple steps, we'll be able to complete the entire process of creating our home screen widget. And I don't want you to worry about the process of rewriting the native Swift code. Even if you don't have prior experience with the iOS setup or Swift code, I will guide you till the end to create a complete home screen widget for your Flutter app. So stick around till the end to get to know the complete process of creating your home screen widget for your Flutter app. And I now want you to buckle up your seatbelts and let's get started with the coding part. Here, starting with the first step, which is the iOS setup, we need an active Apple developer account to continue the process. You can use your own existing Apple ID to sign into Xcode, or you can create one for free by heading over to the Apple Developer Console. After creating your own Apple ID, now let's try to open the iOS folder in Xcode. Let's right click it and try to open in Xcode. Here inside the Xcode, click on File, New, and select Target. Here inside this menu, let's search for widget extension. Click next. Once you have created your Apple account, you'll be able to select your theme here. Let's click finish. You need to activate that. Now after doing this process, let's try to run our Flutter project. Now we have our Flutter app up and running. Since we are making use of empty scaffold, we don't have any widgets displayed here in the UI screen. Now let's try to minimize this app, and if you click anywhere in the home screen and try to click this plus icon and search for our Flutter app name. And if you see, by default, you'll be able to see the current time as the home screen widget. You can actually select any of these layouts and click on add widget. It is going to add the home screen widget directly in your device home screen. And if you click this home screen widget, it is going to take you directly to your Flutter app. By default, it shows the device time. Let's try to modify and customize this home screen widget, the third step. With this, we now complete the iOS setup process. Now let's turn our focus to the second step, where we will be writing code for sending data to and fro between our Flutter app and our home screen widget. What we need to do is, we need to add an elevator button right in our Flutter app, and upon clicking that button, we should try to push some data which will be reflected or be shown up here in the home screen widget. Okay? So now let's do that. Now let's once again open our Xcode. Here inside the Xcode, click on runner. Under targets, we will be able to see the home screen widget which we have created. Now click on signing and capabilities. Under this tab, make sure your Apple ID and bundle identifiers are set. Once it is done, let's create the capabilities and search for app groups. We need to create an app group, so let's double click on this option. I already have 2 app groups created. You can create one by clicking this plus icon. And you need to name your app group. You can name any app group as you wish. And make sure it is unique and meaningful. And we name it as Flutter Tutorial App Group just for this video purpose. Once it is done, we need to repeat the same process for the parent runner as well. So let's click this runner and other capabilities. Let's click app groups. As we have already created the app group, here you can just select the app group name alone. Okay, so with this, we have created the app group for both the widget as well as the parent target. Once all these changes are done on the Xcode side, let's now turn our focus to the VS Code and start building up the UI. First, let's try to change our home page to a stateful widget class, inside which let's try to define the app group ID and the iOS widget name. So these two are something which we have already defined in the Xcode. After doing so, let's create an int state and try to make use of the set app group ID and pass in the app group ID which we have already defined over at the top. And here inside the scaffold, let's try to build up the app bar. Following the app bar, inside the body, right at the center, let's create an elevated button widget. Inside the onPress event, let's try to call the update widget function. Here inside the update widget function, we make use of the save widget data, where we passing the key and the value. Here the key is going to be the title and the value is going to be Flutter. Similarly, that's the same way. We try to pass another variable called the description, where the value is going to be the app development. And finally, we make use of the update widget method and pass in the iOS name. Since we are targeting iOS, we just need to pass the iOS name along here. With this, we will be able to send the data right from our Flutter app to our home screen widget, where the data which we sent is nothing but the title and the description, with the value as Flutter and app development. Now let's try running our app directly from the Xcode. So open your Xcode and hit run. Here, as you can see that the build has failed. And the problem is that here the module home widget is not found. This might be due to the pod error. This is a simple bug which you can easily resolve. All you need to do is head over to the VS Code and open your terminal. Inside your terminal, go into the iOS folder and try to run pod install. Here try to select keep version on disk. Now after doing so, you can notice that our build has succeeded. This we complete almost 80% of the entire process. We have completed the iOS setup, and also we have completed sending data from our Flutter app to the home screen widget. So we are actually trying to send the title and the description right from our Flutter app to the home screen widget. Now, the third and final process is nothing but is to try to display this title and description here in the home screen widget, which is sent from our Flutter app. And for doing so, we need to rewrite few of the script code. So let's try to open our Xcode. Here inside the Xcode, now let's navigate to test home screen folder. Here inside this folder, we have the test home screen script file. Here we need to rewrite few of the logic in order to customize our home screen to show the data which is being drawn by our Flutter app. Therefore, here we need to update few changes. Starting with the entry here, let's add two more parameters. One is the title and other is going to be the description. Followed by which, let's try to define the widget group. Always make sure you provide the exact same name here. If you leave any typological error, then this doesn't work. Following which, here inside the placeholder, you usually have the date as the system date. Along with that, you need to add the title and description. Following the placeholder, inside the snapshot, you need to rewrite the entry. Here, let's add the title as well as the description. Following that, under the timeline, we need to update the code as follows. Finally, here at the bottom, we also need to provide the title and description. Initially, we only have the date. Here, let's update that with the title and the description as well. And here inside the view, finally, we need to replace that with a VStack and try to display the title and description. We make use of the entry, and with the help of the dot operator, we can access the key, which is the title and the description. With this, we complete the third and final step, which is updating the native Swift code. Now let's head back to our VS Code and try running our app. Always make sure that after doing the changes in the Xcode, you stop the app and rerun it again in order to overcome any catchy issues. Usually we used to have the system datetime being displayed in the home screen widget. But now, as soon as the update button is pressed, we are trying to push the data, which is the title and description, to the home screen widget. And inside the home screen widget, we have updated the Swift UI code to display the same data. Right, let's see how it works. If I click update button and let's head over to the home screen, we are able to see the title and description which we have passed from our Flutter app. So this is basically how you can pass the data right from a Flutter app to the home screen widget and make them appear in the UI component. If you want to customize this entire home screen widget, you can rewrite the UI shift logic and add the designing as well. So this is all about how we can pass the data from a Flutter app and make them appear in the home screen widget. And as a final tip, always make sure you provide the correct exact app group ID as well as the iOS widget group ID. Initially at the beginning, we just mismatch in this group ID. So always make sure you provide the exact same name and the same ID here for app group ID as well as the widget group ID. Well, that's it guys. So this is the part 1 series. The second part of this video, we will try to address how to add images within your home screen widget. Initially, in this video, we just look into how to add the text widget and try to display them here in the home screen widget. But let's take it a step ahead and try to show a few of the image screen to make it more interactable. So if you find this video useful, consider subscribing and I will see you again in the next one.